The Bold and the Beautiful scoop for the week of December 8th reveals Deacon Sharp will break some upsetting news to Sheila Carter. Also coming up, Hope Logan and Liam Spencer will tie the knot. Plus, Taylor Hayes will issue a warning, and Eric Forrester will remain furious with Ridge Forrester. B&B spoilers tease Ridge, and Eric's feud will continue. The Forrester co-CEO will refuse to back down on insisting his father's time at Forrester Creations is over. Of course, Eric will push back, but Ridge will insist he's retiring. Meanwhile, Deacon will have the unenviable task of telling his wife that she's not invited to his daughter's wedding. Not surprisingly, Sheila will be very upset, as she had been looking forward to it for weeks. But will she ask Deacon to stand up for her to Hope? Over at the Spencer estate, preparations will begin for Hope and Liam's nuptials. Upstairs in the bridal suite, Donna Forrester will take a selfie with her sisters and her niece. Shortly after, Hope will head downstairs to the living room, where her groom will be waiting for her. Deacon will walk Hope down the aisle, as Brooke Forrester and Douglas Forrester beam. Before Beth Spencer begins to officiate and vows are exchanged, Brooke and Bill Spencer will each make a speech. Finally, Sheila will head to Taylor's office and proceed to freak out about not being invited to the wedding. The psychiatrist will remind Sheila they're not friends, and she can't just drop by anytime she feels like it. However, Sheila will rant and rave about how she should be on her husband's arm for his daughter's wedding, and Taylor will try to talk her out of crashing the wedding. But will she succeed, or will Sheila shock the guests by showing up? Stay tuned. Hey B&B fans, are you enjoying the latest CBS Sudser Beyond the Gates? Then make sure you join our free Facebook group. Keep reading The Soap Scoop, your source for the latest soap opera spoilers and B&B spoilers and news. And make sure to also join our B&B Facebook group. But if you miss an episode, don't fret. You can watch The Bold and the Beautiful online at cbs.com. Hopefully, after watching Friday's Bold and Beautiful, all of y'all canceled the surprise retirement parties you were considering throwing for folks that have no desire whatsoever to pack it in. If not, allow us to remind you of the wise words that were spoken by an unlikely voice of reason, Daphne. Before the boom was lowered on Forrester Creations' founder by his son Ridge, the perfumer told him right to his face, "I'd never question your love for your father, but I do question whether Eric should have to accept this." The Frenchwoman went on to add that, "I come from a different part of the world, a culture that views elders with more reverence than this." Ridge, Brooke, Carter, everyone jumped in to say that they had the utmost respect for Donna's honey bear. Do they, though? If they put him on such a pedestal, perhaps don't count him out just yet, Daphne gently suggested. He still has a lot to offer. Carter insisted that no one's discarding Eric, but point of fact, that was exactly what Ridge was doing, for the sake of his father's health. But other compromises could have been made to allow Eric to continue working without taking on the stress of being CEO. Shouldn't Eric be allowed to do what he wants and decide his own future? Daphne asked. Amen, we cheered. But Ridge was 100% not having it. Then again, is he ever open to differing opinions? Not so much. In the end, he ignored Daphne and forged forward with his plan to put Eric out to pasture. It didn't go well. Stephanie's widower hit the roof and refused to allow his son to shut him out of his own company. And if Ridge was really so worried about Eric's health, wouldn't he have seen that the upset of this shock was far greater than allowing him to help with the couture line would have been? Daphne wasn't the only one to have Eric's back either. Reader Tangi Juarez said, "I actually agree with Daphne here. They should have more respect for Eric in this. The decision to retire should be a personal one." Sonia Washington commented, "I'm Team Daphne too." "I hated how Ridge dismissed what Daphne said," added a viewer named Jason. Ridge was even more of a jerk when he condescendingly asked Daphne if it was okay with that he would send Eric a text. Honestly, does Ridge get more obnoxious each day or what? Ridge holds firm on his push for Eric to retire, leaving Eric overwhelmed and emotional. As tensions rise, Carter steps in to better understand the depth of Eric's hurt. The Bold and the Beautiful's must-watch moments for Monday, December 8th include Eric's emotions running high as Ridge refuses to back down over Eric's retirement. Plus, Carter tries to put himself in Eric's shoes. It's going to be a day filled with drama in Los Angeles. Eric shared that he wanted a larger role at Forrester Creations, insisting he was done being treated like the company's mascot. What he truly wanted was to return to his passion, designing haute couture. He also offered his opinion on Ridge's latest creations, and he wasn't impressed. Ridge and Brooke bristled at his critique, especially since it wasn't long ago that father and son faced off in their big fashion showdown, back when everyone believed Eric was dying. Steffi has taken on more responsibility at Forrester, while Eric stepped back. She's learned so much from him and misses his presence in the day-to-day, even if she knows he deserves to enjoy this stage of his life. Carter and Daphne stood by awkwardly as Ridge told Eric he had to retire. Brooke also seemed surprised by what her husband said to his dad. Liam and Hope's wedding takes center stage as emotions run high over Eric's forced retirement. From family tensions to unforgettable vows, this week delivers major moments in Los Angeles. The weekly The Bold and the Beautiful must-watch moments for December 8th. 12 tease that Liam and Hope's wedding happens, and it is the event of the year. Plus, Eric's forced retirement is a big topic of conversation in Los Angeles. Tune in to CBS or Paramount Plus next week to catch all the dramatic moments in Los Angeles. Monday, December 8th, 2025, 9668. Eric's shocked emotions inflate more and more as Ridge doesn't back down. Carter attempts to put himself in Eric's shoes. Tuesday, December 9th, 225, 9669. Liam and Hope talk about their upcoming wedding and Eric's forced retirement. Brooke queries Ridge if he regrets asking Eric to retire. Deacon breaks the news to Sheila that she is not invited to Hope and Liam's wedding. Wednesday, December 10th, 2025, number 9670. Everyone convenes for Hope and Liam's wedding day. Taylor warns Sheila against crashing the wedding. Katie and Bill are one of B&B's super couples. For 16 years, Bill and Katie have been entertaining the Bold and the Beautiful fans with their emotional love story. There's no denying that Heather Tom and Don Diamond's sizzling chemistry is what makes Beatty so popular, and as Tom explains, that type of chemistry isn't forced. Chemistry plays an important role in creating soap opera couples. If fans sense that physical and emotional connection, then they're going to root for the lovebirds. That's one of the reasons why Bill and Katie are popular with B&B viewers. Whenever Tom and Diamond are in a scene together, viewers can feel the bond between them. And their bond is just as strong off-screen as it is on-screen. In an interview with People, Tom calls Diamond her family and says they have a truthful relationship. The stars initially worked together on Y&R, where a romance was teased between their characters, Victoria and Brad. Even though they had great chemistry, Victoria and Brad never became a couple during Tom's run. However, when they reunited on B&B, Tom and Diamond finally got a chance to play a couple. Much like with Victoria and Brad, Katie and Bill proved to have incredible chemistry. And according to Tom, it's something that comes natural to her and Diamond. Sometimes I feel like you can certainly create chemistry and play it, but a lot of times it's just there, the actress explained. Tom calls her chemistry with Diamond organic and says she was all for a Bati romance when the idea was pitched. So when he joined the show, I was just like, okay, put me with Donald. We work really well together. Try us together, she recalled. Like many B&B couples, Bill and Katie have faced their share of problems, most of which have split them. But Beatty fans are rejoicing because the couple recently reunited. Will's situation with Luna was a driving force in bringing Beatty together. Now that Luna's gone, the couple is ready to focus on their future. But Bill's plans for the future might cause issues between Katie and her family. Feeling frustrated and underappreciated at work, Bill offered Katie the opportunity to come to Spencer Publications. With Katie possibly moving to Spencer, it'll upset her sisters Brooke and Donna. While her family's been supportive of Katie's reunion with Bill, the Logan sisters might change their tune after Bill's latest stunt. Bold and the Beautiful displays Ridge Forrester overstepping and trying to shove Eric Forrester out the door. It seems like a war may start soon, and Ridge has a bunch of people really mad at him. And if the way he's treated Eric messes with his dad's health, there might be an angry mob coming for Ridge. Let's get into what could happen now that Ridge has gone too far with Eric. We could see a new rival fashion house rise up, and a lot of others on B&B could be wrapped up in the drama. I don't know about you, but when I heard Ridge and Brooke Logan talking about throwing Eric a surprise retirement party, my jaw just about dropped. A surprise retirement party thrown by Brooke and Ridge is okay if the party is the surprise, and not the other part. But it sure sounds like Ridge is planning to surprise his dad, Eric, by forcibly retiring him against his will and throwing a party as a consolation prize. As Ridge shoves Eric out the door, it sounds like Brooke and Ridge are planning to say, "Surprise, Eric, you're retired," which is basically saying you're fired. And of course, Brooke's just standing there smiling like whatever Ridge does is fine because, he's her destiny. Anyway, he's clearly doing Eric dirty, and Brooke is enabling it. In one regard, I do see Ridge's side. 2 years ago, Eric was super sick, but he insisted on completing his final collection for the fashion challenge. This was before Ridge even knew his dad was dying. And then he found out he was sick, and they weren't telling each other the truth. Ridge won the challenge, but he lied and told Eric he won because his dad was dying, and then he didn't die. Since then, Eric's actually been back up at FC doing design work here and there, on hope for the future and other projects. But in the end, I think Ridge thinks that Eric has nothing left to offer. Ridge keeps telling Eric that he designed his last collection, just ride off into the sunset. As far as Ridge is concerned, he thinks he's the best designer at FC. He thinks he doesn't need Eric in any professional sense. This is the man who taught Ridge everything he knows, and he's being totally dismissed. When Eric tried to talk to him, Ridge acted too busy and too important, just above it all, and was just paying lip service to his dad. Never forget Eric and Stephanie Forrester co-founded the company, and it was Eric's designs that made FC a worldwide brand, not Ridge's. By the time he came along, Eric was a world-renowned designer genius, and Ridge was just a kid learning to sketch. So now he's disrespecting Eric, and we're seeing Ridge shoving his dad out. Not only is Eric not happy with Ridge, neither is his wife, Donna Logan. She was giving major side-eye to Brooke when she pretty much agreed that Eric needs to step aside and just leave the building, go play pickleball, go take a cruise. Whatever. You can do what you want. You just can't do it here. So, we've got Donna and Eric both really irritated with Ridge, but they're not the only ones. Bill Spencer is on fire about how Ridge is treating Katie Logan. I will say Ridge and Brooke seem to have the best intentions trying to help Katie, but they are also being pushy and presumptuous and not looping her in. At the same time, I do think Katie is being a little hypersensitive. But then again, she's like a raw nerve right now because the whole Will Spencer and Luna Nozawa thing has been really stressful for Katie. So, she wanted to focus on work, but when she went up there, Brooke and Ridge had taken that from her, thinking they're doing her a favor. They're just making decisions for people without consulting them, thinking that they know best. When Katie went crying to Bill about it, of course, he came unglued. I mean, Ridge simply breathing and existing rubs Dollar Bill the wrong way. And now he is on fire because Ridge devalued Katie's role at Forrester and hurt her feelings. So, Bill confronted Ridge this week, and things got really tense because he hates Bill too. When Katie told Ridge she didn't feel appreciated, he gave Katie some lip service, a little bit of reassurance, but he was more focused on insulting Bill and kicking him out of the Forrester Creations building. But is Katie about to follow Bill out the door and never return? At the same time, we have Donna also annoyed at Brooke and Ridge, and we're seeing Eric, John and Katie both feeling dismissed and unappreciated. Plus, there have been hints that Eric's health might be an issue again, and it could be Ridge stressing him out with this retirement push that actually triggers it. But an interesting new project could turn it around and give Eric something to live for. And I really hope Bold goes in this direction. Right now, Bill wants Katie and Will to come work at Spencer Publications. So all of this dual family drama with the Logans, the Spencers, and the Forresters, could it coalesce into something that is fresh and a twist? That would be great. Something like a competing fashion house. We haven't seen Ridge having to fight off a competitor in quite some time. And I think it would be really wild if Bill was so annoyed with Ridge that he decided to launch a new division of Spencer, a fashion house. After all, Eye on Fashion was their flagship publication. So, Bill's company has been fashion adjacent for decades, You could see a fashion division as a natural evolution. And I think with Ridge being so cocky and self-important, everybody that he's annoyed might band together to work against him. Donna, Eric, Katie, Bill, and others. Eric could be the lead designer for this project. Katie could do the PR. Donna could do whatever it is that she does. You know, wear tight sweaters and make dirty jokes about honey. Her expertise there. Also, with Liam Spencer and Hope Logan getting married later this month, Bill might be able to recruit his new daughter-in-law, Hope, to bring her line over to Spencer. That means Zend Forrester Dominguez might actually follow since he's working at Forrester Creations, but he has been working on Hope for the future mostly and has felt sidelined before by the Forresters. And my gosh, if Bill and Katie press on Will, he might join them in this new fashion venture at Spencer. And he could tempt Electra Forrester to leave Forrester and join them and have her own jewelry line. Will could be the intern, as useful as Donna is delivering mail and whatnot. A lot of Bold and the Beautiful fans have been dying to see a competing fashion house taking on Forrester Creations. That was the key to some really hot plots in the past on B&B, like when Jackie had her line and she stole designers and the limelight. Then there was Spectra Fashions, which was a hoot, both with Sally Spectra and her namesake aunt. But with a cast as small as it is on Bold and the Beautiful, it would be hard for them to bring in all these outside people to make it happen. That's why Bill investing in a fashion division would be amazing, because we could get the same thing, but using the same cast. I would totally be down to see Eric heading up a Spencer fashion house and grinding Ridge into the dirt. It's especially important if Eric's health takes a turn, because Ridge is trying to force him into retirement, because this could turn things around, like I said, and give Eric something to live for. If Bold and the Beautiful did a rival fashion house under the Spencer umbrella, it could rip Forrester Creations in two, push father from son, put sister against sister, and create some big drama that would make B&B really, really worth watching. The Logan sisters could find themselves on the outs. Tensions are high at Forrester Creations. Katie feels uncertain about her job, which could create tension among the Logan sisters on the Bold and the Beautiful. Katie feels like the odd woman out at work lately. She told Bill that her ideas have been shot down. Additionally, Ridge hired a crisis management team to handle the news of Luna's death. Katie is fine with that decision since she's too close to the situation, but she would have liked to be informed on the matter. Bill showed up on Wednesday's episode to defend Katie's honor, which ruffled Ridge's feathers. He spoke on her behalf. Bill chastised Ridge and Brooke for hiring an outside PR firm. He called them out for disrespecting his love. But Ridge wanted to hear these words from Katie's mouth. She admitted that she's kind of felt this way for a while now, and Ridge assured her that he admired the work that she does for their company. Meanwhile, in the showroom, Brooke and Donna were disagreeing over Eric's case to return to work. He wants to get back to what he loves doing, which is designing beautiful couture gowns. Donna argued that Ridge isn't as concerned with Eric's legacy. She believed that her husband should be involved with his company. After all, he wants to be a designer again. He doesn't want to sit on the sidelines. Donna mentioned the times when Eric spent most of his time sketching at home. He wants to join the couture design team. Brooke fears that Eric will feel the pressure. This scene showed that Brooke and Donna are already butting heads when it comes to Eric. She could reignite a new feud among the Logans. Brooke has shot down her ideas. She fears that her sister could be upset with her. Donna is always the supportive sister in these situations. It's likely that she will side with Katie when it comes to her job. Meanwhile, Brooke will be siding with Ridge because she wants to stay on his good side.